With your latest news, I'm April Cummings. Chief Medical Officer Dr. John Lee reporting 624 COVID-19 tests since Thursday. There were 5 positives in the batch, all travelers who tested positive as part of the routine screening program. Officials say they will remain in isolation until considered recovered. Right now, there are 809 people in isolation, and the total number of COVID-19 vaccines administered to date is at 31,980. So far, 21,864 people, that's about 33% of the estimated population, have received at least one dose of the vaccine, while 10,116 people have completed the 2-dose course. Premier the Honorable Alden McLaughlin says he has a lot of faith in the effectiveness of the vaccines.
Only recently, we have learned that the Pfizer-BioNTech and AstraZeneca vaccines are likely to give a good degree of protection not only against the infection itself, but also protection against the transmission of infection from one person to the other.
In a press briefing this week, the Premier said studies show the vaccines provide protection even against COVID variants. But he says we must nonetheless remain cautious.
Firstly, vaccination is not 100% effective. It works exceedingly well, but there will still be some people in whom no immune response develops in spite of having completed the course. Secondly, although a good deal of protection is afforded by vaccination, there is still a small but finite chance that a fully vaccinated person might have a good immune response, but might still be able to carry and transmit the virus to someone else.
The Premier also says that variants must continue to be monitored.
We have seen a worrying increase in infectivity, which will have a direct knock-on effect of the numbers needed to be vaccinated to ensure good community protection.
He says government will remain vigilant of global trends. Fire crews are on the scene of a large brush fire in Windsor Park. Residents and businesses in the area are being advised to close windows if they're impacted by smoke. Officials say the Truman Modern Sports Complex has now been evacuated along with the University College campus. Fire crews remain on scene. No word yet on the extent of the fire. One of the Cayman Islands Fire Service's 3 new Oshkosh Stryker Aviation Fire and Rescue trucks heads to the BRAC to operate at Charles Kirkconnell International Airport. Radio Cayman's Carsley Fuller has more.
So with this move, the Cayman Islands Fire Service is taking a newer fire truck that's currently at Charles Kirkconnell International Airport and moving it to Little Cayman, where it will operate until 2 dual-purpose domestic and aviation fire trucks are procured, ordered, manufactured, and delivered to Little Cayman in 2022. The Chief Fire Officer, Paul Walker, says, quote, significant investment in our vehicles and equipment by the Cayman Islands government is seeing our fleet replacement timetable gather pace. They now have 7 new domestic fire trucks and 3 new aviation trucks that they've gotten over the last 6 months to replace the oldest trucks in their fleet. Reporting for Radio Cayman News, I'm Carsley Fuller.
To politics now. With no incumbent in the race for Savannah, the Chamber Candidates Forum sees a community advocate and former MLA Heather Bodden, newcomer Gina Williams, and Malcolm Eden, son of incumbent Anthony Eden.
Just go out and vote. I've spoken to a lot of constituents and they're undecided. They're not sure who they're going to vote for. But what I would say is just go out and vote. That is your democratic right. And at the end of the day, you can make a difference.
And my one main goal is to improve the quality of lives of the constituents of Savannah.
I think it's important to look at the track record of each candidate. I'm happy to say that I am born and bred in the Newlands and Savannah community. I would ask that each of you remember my history of service to you, my people, and how over the years I've been at work to make things better.
You can watch the forum in full online on Radio Cayman's Facebook page and YouTube channel. Newlands candidates will be the focus tonight starting at 7:15 p.m. We will carry it live on our social media channels. Dozens of organizations, businesses, and schools took part in the region's annual tsunami exercise Thursday. One of the new features this year, a ping for mobile users, alerting them of the simulated threat.
So with all our exercises, we at Hazard Management try to ensure that our response is as effective as possible. With the implementation of the NENS Phase 2, which is the mobile app, we will be doing a survey based on the exercise we had to ascertain how many persons have received the notification by the SMS or by the mobile app.
Patrice Walcott with HMCI tells CIGTV the response to the survey will help the team make improvements to the notification process, ultimately helping to keep Cayman as as prepared as possible should an earthquake and tsunami threat become a reality.
Since the last major earthquake on January 28th last year, hazard management's been working very closely with the Ministry of Education, the schools themselves. It's actually mandatory for all schools to have their plans reviewed by Hazard Management Cayman Islands. And so this has helped make us more prepared. But this exercise, again, is an opportunity for the schools to think through what they're doing, for the kids to practice, the children to practice what they do in response to an earthquake and what they do in the immediate aftermath after the shaking has stopped. So this is helping to build a muscle memory. Overall, it's going to help make children safer in the Cayman Islands.
HMCI's Simon Boxall says while earthquakes happen infrequently, we should all have a family plan, and schools need to be ready in the event of another big earthquake. 5 young ladies are vying for the crown and title of Miss World Cayman Islands, and over the next 5 weeks, we're getting to know each contestant. This week, Radio Cayman's Shanda Gallego turns our attention to contestant number 1, 24-year-old Alyssa West, representing Georgetown.
You are in environmental engineering, is that right?
Yes, I am in environmental engineering.
Tell us about that.
It's been amazing so far. I never thought I would be working in the STEM field. STEM is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. It just came to me. I like to think that the engineering job came to me because I was asked to come in and do an interview and, see if it's something that I would want to do. And it's been amazing so far.
Wow. Awesome.
Yes.
But I do know that on top of being an environment engineer, you're also a performer.
Yes, that is true. I have danced for many years. I've also done a little bit of choir. Growing up in the church choir, we did a lot of performances, but I usually stuck to dance. I've danced with Cree Performing Arts when they were around. I also currently dance with the UCCI dance group.
How long have you been dancing for?
Since I was 6 years old, I'll say.
Wow.
And I'm 24 now, so.
Wow, that is a long time.
Yeah.
And why the love and passion for dancing and performing?
I just love being on stage and being able to express myself. I find that I'm a very reserved person, so when I get on stage, I get to, tell a story with my body and my movement and everything, and it feels very liberating to be on stage and be able to show people that this is my passion and I love doing what I do.
Love that. Switching gears, you've entered the Miss World Cayman Islands 2021 pageant. First off, what made you decide to join the Miss World pageant?
I decided to join for a lot of reasons, one of them being that I wanted to step outside of my comfort zone, really. Like I said earlier, I'm a more reserved person, and I feel like the Miss World, competition really pushes you to show the world who you are and to be yourself. I also really wanted to, shed some light on issues that I find are important to me, such as the environment. I studied environmental science and policy, which is what, kind of made me look at the environment as something that is extremely important, especially at the time. We never really had a lot of interest in the environment when I was, 17, 18, and now we're seeing a lot of young people take an interest in the environment. So that's something I hope to inspire people to do.
If you were to be crowned the Miss World Cayman Islands 2021, what are some of the things that you're hoping to do and tackle and challenge?
Oh man, there's so many things. I think one of the things I would love to see, what I would love to do, is to inspire a lot of young women, like I said, to move towards the STEM field. I believe that, the STEM field is very male-dominated, and I would love to have, some workshops to really showcase what, fields are in the science, the technology, and engineering and mathematical, sections. I would love to inspire both men and women to, take an interest in, these fields.
That's contestant number 1, Alyssa West. The 2021 Miss World Cayman Islands pageant is on May 29th at the Harkwell Theater starting at 6 o'clock. Reigning Queen J.C. Patrick will crown her successor at the grand finale. That is your latest local news from Radio Cayman's newsroom. I'm April Cummings.